The happiest people I know, says Lisa Villaprosen, are always evaluating and improving themselves. The unhappy people are usually evaluating and judging others. And after going through the book of Philippians and talking about what it means to rejoice and seeing Paul pushing forward and encouraging others to do the same, to encourage growth in themselves and those who are around them, it's quite easy to agree with this quote. Now, as we come to the end of the year, we're coming up to different kinds of performance reviews, times in which we sit down with someone that is around us and we start to review the last year and we think about where things went well, where things maybe didn't go well, and maybe we go through the sets of goals that we have produced and see how we've achieved them or not, and whether we have lived up to the kinds of expectations that we had wanted to do. And these kinds of things can be fraught with anxiety, both for those who are giving the review and for those who are receiving it. And yet, when we think about the ways in which we can grow, when we are happiest, when we are engaged and allowed to pursue the things that we want to pursue, and when we recognize that we know most of the time when we fall short of the expectations of those around us and even our own expectations. Now, do we have blind spots that we sometimes consciously or unconsciously fall into? Absolutely. Is it important to have someone there to ask the right kinds of questions so that we can reveal what is hidden in these blind spots for ourselves? Yes, absolutely. And I think that's the point. If we can find someone or be someone that can ask some good questions to allow someone the space to identify their own weaknesses and to figure out the ways in which they want to pursue them in the future, that is so helpful. Now, if someone were to ask you the kinds of feedback you need in order to get better at what God is calling you to do, would you be able to answer that question? Are you able to see the ways in which others around you can help hold you accountable, not by controlling your life or by maybe asking difficult questions, although those can be important, but simply by raising and reminding you of the things that you have committed to do yourself? And what if we saw those spaces at the end of the year as opportunities to do that? Not necessarily to figure out how much of a raise we're supposed to get this coming year or all those kinds of things, which are important, but what if we primarily saw those as opportunities to help each other grow? Now, this takes good questions, and before I offer you a few examples of things that I found from other places, I wonder if you could type in the comments down below, what are some of the questions that you have received that have been really, really helpful for you? Now, one of the best resources that someone passed along to me quite a while ago regarding questions about developing goals and figuring out where we might want to be in life is this book by Natalie Michael. It's called The Duck and the Butterfly: Coaching Questions for Leaders at Work. It's a great combination of all kinds of questions that can help get to all kinds of different areas or aspects of life. And Seth Godin on his blog also provides a list of some review questions. Now, these aren't necessarily yearly review questions. These are kind of monthly or even weekly kinds of questions where you sit down by yourself or maybe with a team and you answer some of these questions. And here's a list of his. What am I better at now? Or do people trust me more than they did before? Am I hiding more or less than I did the last time I checked? Who have I developed or who have I helped, especially when there's no upside for me? Am I more likely to be leading or to be following? Now, these are kind of some review questions. That's kind of looking back over the last little while and have you achieved some of the things that you're pursuing? Now, to help go forward into the next step, or maybe there's some of these questions. These are ones that I've compiled from all kinds of different places. What do I want to spend more time on in the coming week, month, year? What am I most excited about? What do I want or need to learn? Where do I want or need to go? How do I want or need to change in order to do the things that God is calling me to do the things that I really want to do well? Again, if you have some other examples, some questions that have been helpful for you as you think about how the past year went or how you want to grow or develop in the future, write them down below. We'd love to be able to learn together. As Paul says that he longs for all people to pursue and to push forward towards the goal that Christ has called us, to be renewed individuals doing renewed work in a renewed place. Or, as Lisa Prosen puts it, the happiest people I know are those who are always evaluating and improving themselves. The unhappy people are usually evaluating and judging others. So may you be the kind of person who is growing and who is seeking ways to grow yourself. And may you also be the kind of person that gives space to others and trusts them enough to pursue their own growth and development as well.